So what is it that you are going to do when you can't shout from the top of your lungs that this is amazing? You're at an interview, you're already at a networking event. Whatever it is, what do you do in that situation? Well, you're going to do a light version of the incantation, and it really, since you can't use your voice to that degree, you have to really tap into the body and, if possible, the visualization. Now, sometimes you can't even tap into the visualization because you're mid-conversation. Now, this happened to me when I was at my first and really only corporate job, and I was getting a pretty mixed, if not negative, performance review. And I was getting it because I was admittedly checked out. I had sort of started on the business that eventually became Charisma on Command. I wasn't working with the diligence that I would like people in my company to be working, and I probably deserved to be chewed out a little bit. And that was what was happening. I'm sitting there in this chair and they're saying, hey, you're doing a good job, but everybody around you gets the impression that you could be doing much better. And that made me instantly, I mean, you can imagine, just go like this, because it didn't feel good. I felt called out, and I'm sitting there just wanting to shut down. And as I felt myself do this, luckily, some of the training that I had done kicked in. And rather than speak up or get physically defensive, I went, this is going to feel uncomfortable. We're going to do it anyway. And I opened up. I put my hands kind of on the armrests in a position like this, where they were just completely open. I sat back and I opened up my whole chest and throat and even kind of tilted my head back just a little bit to expose my vulnerable spots. Now, why did I do this? Because I knew that there is a feedback loop in your body. It goes both ways. You feel uncomfortable, you start to act uncomfortable. But also when you act uncomfortable, you're sending the feedback loop was, yes, still feel uncomfortable here. So I wanted to interrupt that. And so I sat as if I was completely relaxed at a spa day, still paying attention. I couldn't focus on that moment where I felt great. I had to pay attention to what they were saying, but I knew that I could open my body up. And this did a couple of things that were really helpful. One, it allowed me to slow my breath down, which slowed my thinking down, which stopped me from jumping in and defending myself, which was critical. I let them say everything that they had to say. And then when they finished, I took a deep breath before responding. And believe it or not, before, when I thought they had finished, they said, you know what? But there's also the flip side, which is all these things that you've done well. And then they listed all the things that I did well. And because I had hardly spoken and was sitting there just kind of absorbing, still attentive, but not defensive, they in some way almost talked themselves out of the negative review that they had started to give me. So much so that by the end of it, I said, I appreciate the feedback. Is there anything else that you guys want to tell me so that I can learn? And because I could say that because I was not in a defensive position. Had I allowed myself to sit like this, I wouldn't have wanted to hear anything else. So if you find yourself in a position where you're out at a club or a bar, or I always use these topics because I know that that was where my mind was when I was in my younger 20s. Now it's more when I have to give a speech or if there's a really important meeting, something like that that's coming up. Wherever it is for you, if you find yourself unable to shift your focus or anything else, one, open up your body language. If you're out and it's possible in this venue, extend your arms off of your body, even just for a minute. It can look like a stretch, right? Just to do this is going to make you feel more confident and expressive. And it's cliche, but seriously, going to the bathroom, splashing some water on your face, that works as a physical pattern interrupt. And what that means, in short, is that if you're doing that, you're snapping yourself out of this sort of, what should I do? Is my phone buzzing? Oh, my phone didn't buzz. Oh, I need to have something to do with my hands. You're just going, shake it out. And I've done that in the past. I go, and when you do that, we are using this principle of tapping into your body to snap out of negative states of lacking confidence and into states of high confidence.